As horror fans, we tend to love the 80s a lot, especially if you grew up through any of it or had family that was old enough to have lived through it. You watched some 80s movies in your day, and you probably loved them as a kid. What if you were to take 1 year out of that magical decade and say it was the greatest? Well, this documentary aims to do just that, and it's finally been released on Blu-ray. So let's get into it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be talking about MVD Rewind's collection, 1982, the Greatest Geek Year Ever. They go over everything in this movie, and it is chock full of a lot of different people that you're going to love on the screen. If you're a fan of the 80s and you loved all genres of movies, 1982 is going to try to sell you on why it is the best year. And they don't just go over the best movies, they go over everything. And there is a ton of movies on hand and a lot of deleted extra scenes in the extras that will make this purchase even more valuable. I'm going to tell you everything I think about this movie, and then we'll get into all the extras afterwards. Then buckle up, and I'm going to tell you what I think of this little documentary, a big documentary, right now. "1982, the Greatest Geek Year Ever." A tall order, but I think they do handle it well, and they have a good case amongst them because there are some big movie names out there. Like I already mentioned, E.T., Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Which one was the best, by the way, the original or the new one? Let me know. Blade Runner, Poltergeist, one of my favorites, Megaforce, Tron, The Dark Crystal, Creepshow, Forbidden World, Slumber Party Massacre, Gandhi, and 48 Hours are just a few of the many films that they talk about in this movie. And again, like I said, this isn't just the ones that did well. There's many movies that didn't, that they talk about too in this, and they cover a little bit of information on all of them. What was going on at the time, what had been done before it, who did it, everything. It's a really nice documentary that comes in at about 165-minute runtime, which is about just under 3 hours of documentary. So it's a pretty big one. But if you're used to In Search of Darkness and you've seen a couple of those, you're going to be at a good home here because this is feeling very much the same in that respect. It has that kind of vibe and everything about it. Originally, from my understanding, the documentary was broken into episodes and was going to be like a TV show. And then now we brought it to a full Blu-ray so that you can just have the whole thing here for you all together. And there's loads of extras that I'll get into in a little bit here. But yeah, there's a lot of people that talk in here that I really like seeing, like Roger Corman or Dee Wallace, Keith David, Felicia Day, Brian Fuller is in here talking about movies. William Shatner's in here, Adrienne Barbeau. We got Bruce Campbell, John Cryer. I mean, there are a lot of people in here. So I was happy to see all of them. There's a lot more people that are in here that know quite a bit about it, including the filmmakers themselves, who were a part of making the film and putting it out. Now, this is a 2022 film technically because they raised the money for it, but it's an 82 documentary. It's pretty timeless. You're gonna be able to watch it no matter how new or fresh it is. And I had never seen it before, so it was kind of nice to watch it. Pretty good highlights in there. They do spend a good amount of time on like Poltergeist, The Thing, Dark Crystal. They do a big segment on Wrath of Khan, you know, Star Trek II, and just Star Trek in general. They do a big segment of. E.T.'s got a really big one in there. They even give, you know, Megaforce some attention in there, which, you know, they jokingly prod at, but it talks about even some of the most failed movies and the ones that actually won at the Oscars that year and why they won over these other movies that everybody adored and loved and has grown to adore. It's just one of those things, right? You know, sometimes those movies just stick with you, and you may know it's great right up front, but I think back then in the Oscars, they were kind of going for like a serious thing. It's interesting. There's a lot of history on all of these different movies, all of the people who made it, and there's a lot of really great stories that are tucked into this documentary. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Could I have spent more time with this movie? Hell yes, but 3 hours I think is a good amount of time for just 1 year. You know what I mean? I mean, they have what, like 3 documentaries in Search of Darkness, you know, with 1980s, and now there's like a 4th one that's going into the 90s. So if you can imagine, I think one of my favorite documentaries about like films in general was the Cannon documentary. It was called Electric Boogaloo, the Wild Untold Story of Cannon Films. I think that was the one, because the guys who ripped off movies back in the day that they did a documentary of ripped off the documentary because they didn't want any part of it and wanted to make their own in true Cannon fashion. So I think it's a fun documentary. I think if you're an 80s fan, you want to pick something up that's like fun and fresh and enjoy a documentary to have on your shelf, I think this is a good buy. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. So if you like documentaries about 80s, specifically 82, this is going to be your sweet spot. And I'm actually going to go over some of the extras in here so that you can see for yourself if this is something that you'd like to buy for yourself. I'll put links down below. I'm a little late to the party on this one. I did get this a while ago and I just am now getting to it. Been out for a few days, so you may want to pick up a copy sooner than later. Just FYI. But thanks MVD for sending this out, and let's get into the extras. First up, we have the nice cover here, which is, you know, got everything you need on here. Nice purple design, kid on the bed reading a comic book. You know, says everything about the 80s, just a nostalgia factor. They do have an inside cover, but it's not a reversible. It's just kind of artwork. This is also the same, by the way. So, but the inside has more of like what's on the kid's bed and what he's like, you know, like there's an Atari sitting there. The disc is like the regular MVD Rewind collection disc. And we get the poster, which is included to rock the 80s. Some of the extras on here is pretty good. You're going to get 1080p presentation of the feature-length untitled main feature in 178:1 aspect ratio. We got audio English, LPCM 5.1 surround with optional English subtitles for you. We also commentaries. There's a couple of them. You have the audio commentary with director, producer Roger Lay Jr. and writer-producer Mark A. Altman. We also have the audio commentary with producers Scott Mantz, Thomas P. Vitale, and writer-producer Mark A. Altman. They also have a 40-minute segment of deleted extended scenes that talk about more movies that you might want to know about that I think you might like to watch too, because it was pretty good. But 4 hours almost there, you know? We got the Fans Speak, Fans Favorite Film featurette, which is about a 16-minute and 51 seconds featurette. There's a 2022 San Diego Comic-Con panel where they sat down and talked for about 28 minutes about the film and the original trailer. But yeah, it's everything that's in here, I think, is a pretty good deal for what you get for this release. My girlfriend and I like to watch and collect documentaries, so it is something that we like to kind of keep because we're, you know, we love the information about these movies in the background and stuff. And some documentaries really don't have the kind of like look and feel as this one did. I think it stands up to some of the best and is a nice collection piece. So I would love to hear what you think about this release. Thank you MVD Entertainment for sending this one out to me in a review. Sorry it's so late, but I hope you guys enjoy this one. And as it stands now on MVD Entertainment, it is on sale for 35% off. I don't know how long that's going to last, but I'll put a link down below for you guys. And if it helps you out, hey, 35% off is 35% off. And let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Did you get a copy of this? I mean, it did release on the 5th, so I'm a little late to the game, but let me know what you think of this release in the comment section down below. But thanks for coming by, guys. Thanks for all the support on all the videos this week. You guys have been awesome. If we can keep doing this on every video, this channel will explode and there will be so much fun stuff that we can do on this channel, I swear to you. So for those of you who are supporting the channel, thank you. Greatly appreciate it. It means the world to me. So thank you. And as always, long live the void.